Hey there, Saber fans, Shamim here. Today I will be reviewing a new custom saber from a company that I have never heard of before, which is always a fun thing in the community to find new talent, new people bringing new ideas to the community, and just expanding the pool of available options for people in our hobby, which is always great. This is the Endeavour hilt, made by a UK-based company called Intergalactic Saber Masters. From what I understand, this group sort of started out as a club for medieval style sword arts, sword training using hand and a half style swords and weaponry from medieval times. And they sort of are branching out, as I understand, into the world of custom sabers, trying to find sabers that sort of fit their own training style and their own style of swordplay. And they were having a hard time because a lot of the Star Wars style hilts either have thin necks or control boxes or greeblies or, other elements that don't lend themselves to being used for their particular style of swordplay. And so they designed their own hilt. This one is called the Endeavour. It's available in a variety of different anodized finishes. It unscrews here at the emitter, your main body section, including this little choke section back here at the bottom, and then your pommel screws off. So they sent a hilt to me empty to review and to install. I've installed an Anabiscotti V4 soundboard. It's an amber white Tri-Cree XP2 LED. You've got a 12mm AV switch here, a 12mm 2.1 recharge port with a aluminum kill key. Got a blade plug up here. They included a 3D printed chassis to accept the Anabiscotti and an 18650 lithium-ion battery. And then there's a 20mm standard speaker from Nigon Electronic Creations. Ergonomically, it's quite comfortable in the hand. Ironically, the thing that what I would really like to see them do, either with this hilt or with a future hilt, is actually to turn it upside down. In my personal opinion, and again, I'm not versed in the style of combat that they do, so maybe right side up is better for what they do, but for me personally, I would prefer to have a larger choke point right up here at the emitter, and then a slightly longer pommel. This sort of reminds me of the swords that you might find in Lord of the Rings, like Anduril, for example, or Narsil, Aragorn's sword, where it has a little bit of it flares out at the bottom. So I personally find that better for my particular style. So that may be something that you may want to consider, ISM, if you start doing alternate runs of this hilt. It does unscrew and it's somewhat modular, so it may not be that difficult to add threads down here for a pommel and then widen this out for a 1-inch blade. Just something maybe to think about. But otherwise, there's absolutely no sharp edges. The machining on it is quite lovely. The holes came pre-drilled. The pommel came pre-vented for sound. So it was quite a simple install to do. And the way that it is in the hand is very comfortable, both for a single-handed if you have larger hands, but then, of course, the hand and a half is the style that they are familiar with and that they specifically designed it for. Let's go ahead and get her booted up. Remove the kill key. So I have 3 of my own sound fonts on here, and I wanted to try something to have some sort of in-universe sound effects. So these 3 boot up sounds for all 3 of the fonts are taken from just random electronic sound effects from Knights of the Old Republic, actually, my favorite Star Wars video game. This is the Master 3. Press and hold, wait for 1 beep. Let go, that activates your mute mode. So this may be nice because they are sort of a training organization. The mute mode will be helpful where you can still get your lights and your effects on the blade. But if the instructor is speaking and giving instructions for what to do, you may want to have the lights, but you may not want to have 20 sabers just on buzzing. So mute mode would be helpful for instructional purposes in these kinds of clubs. Press and hold for a couple seconds to turn it off. Press and hold, wait for 2 beeps. That advances to the next sound font. This is Dark Meat. So I guess it's not all three of my sound fonts. This is one of the stock sound fonts that comes with all Plector boards. Got your amber blade with a white flash on clash. And the last one, this is Cyber Assassin. And for this one, I swapped the main and flash on clash. So you've got a white main blade with a little bit of a faster flicker to match the thrumming hum of Cyber Assassin sound font with an amber flash on clash. Let's throw a blade in there. You've got 2 retention screws up here. These also came pre-drilled. Blade retention screw, LED retention screw. So most likely will not want to mess with the LED retention screw. It's a nice deep blade socket, about 2 inches or so, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So this is good for dueling. You know, the deeper your blade socket is, especially with a 1-inch thick-walled blade, the more durable I found that it will be for dueling. Nice silvery white blade. Amber flash on clash. Let's see the amber blade with a white flash on clash. It's a really lovely sort of orangey yellow. It's more on the lighter side, this amber. So if you want like a darker orange, the blood orange Creed diode is quite nice. But just this is straight amber by itself with a white flash on clash. So there you have it. The Endeavor from Intergalactic Saber Masters, a very comfortable dueling hilt for those who are looking for a slightly shorter style hilt with a nice pommel section down here to rest your palm against for these kinds of those kinds of movements that that their club and other clubs, other dueling clubs, make use of. So yeah, it was a nice first hilt. I look forward to seeing what else they do with it, and I would love to see them do a version that is inverted, because in my personal opinion, that's a bit more comfortable for my particular style that I enjoy. I also showed this to some of my local TSL members, the Saber Legion, and while they mostly deal with longer hilts, about 16 inches in some cases, so far longer than the 9-10 hand and a half that this is, a lot of other members also commented that flipping it upside down would be a bit more to their own liking. So it's not just me who thinks it, a couple other people think it who have more fighting experience than me. But then again, once I mentioned to those people that this was based on medieval sword arts hand and a half style, they were like, oh, okay, so I guess it works for that particular style. So that's my review of the hilt. Very basic, very clean and streamlined. So if you're looking for something with not a lot of greeblies at a decent price point, the Endeavor by Intergalactic Saber Masters might be something that is up your alley. Thank you all so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.